Hi, I'm Ellen Gawler, and I'm a member of Childsplay, and we're going to have a little lesson here on how to play the fiddle, and specifically how to, as a fiddle player, perhaps maybe burst through some of those places where you feel you might be a little bit stuck. I find that oftentimes people get to a certain point with their fiddling and they plateau. And how to get beyond that is sometimes a bit of a trick. So let's explore that, and I'm going to teach you a little tune that has a few specific things to try. Let's start out with just the mechanics of it. Just check and make sure your bow hold is really loose. You're going to check all the joints. Is your elbow opening and closing? Is your wrist moving? And your fingers? And where's the weight? Is your arm way up here so that your hand has to twist to make a sound? Or have you got a little bit of a lowered elbow so that the whole weight of your arm can be translated to this spot right here? So in order to sometimes push through where we might be stuck, you really have to check on the mechanics of it all. And just checking in with the fingers and the wrist, the elbow, all the joints of the arm, making sure they're loose, making sure your bow hold is not gripping or clenching, but it's soft. That's going to help overall. And the left hand the same. You're going to have your fingers soft, your thumb soft, fingers moving from this joint like little hammers. So check in with those as well. So let's do this little tune called The Accordionist. It's a Quebecois tune, and it was written by Marcel Mercivier. And it goes something like this. There you have it. Now, in this tune, we have a little segment that I call the quintessential Quebecois bowing. And it's a little bit of a syncopation that happens with the accents on the up bow. And to get there, let's start by playing 5 A's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now, let's just kind of see what it feels like to poke our bow in the air like this. Poke. It's kind of like a little twitch almost. And now we'll add that to the 5 A's. All the up bows are going to have a bit of a poke. 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's just 2. 2, 3, 4, 5. And now what happens with this accenting of the up bow is that the little middle note in between them tends to disappear. And that's what you want. You want the emphasis to be on the up bow accent, and the little guy, the ghost note, the whisper note in between, that would be almost inaudible. And to make that even more accented, let's add a bite. And the bite happens by making your stick go down to the hair, and as you start to play, you're going to release your hand, like that. So a little bit of a bite on those up bows. It's like plucking the string with the bow. Great. And now we'll tackle the other thing that requires a bite, which is this rocking back and forth. So let's start with the G string and a down bow, and you're going to make a bite as you kind of come over to the G string, and one going up. The key to the bites is that there's a moment of preparation. You're going to prepare and then play. Prepare, play. Prepare, play. Prepare, play. Working, relax. Working, relax. So there's that. And now we have also the roll. And the roll starts out like this. You're going to play a B, and then have a little peel 'em off, and add another B. B, peel 'em off. And eventually you have the A note become shorter. And shorter yet, you can experiment with just making your first finger have a bit of a whisper sound, like this. Be sure you don't lose any notes. Uh-oh. Okay, so in the tune, the A part. There it is. And there's a little bit of a double stop on the up bows in this particular spot. And you can accomplish that by just being a little bit lazy and having an accent and a bite, you know, pushing down a little bit. It just happens almost on its own. So you can experiment with that. In the B part. So all three things are happening there. Let's tackle this first. And you're almost like coming over and sort of like plucking the string with your bow. Give it a bit of a dig. It's fun. And there's your poking thing. And your roll. Just kind of right on the beat and quick. And here's another one. Here's the B part, and the C part starts with the poking thing. Sorry. So the ornamentation there is actually quite simple, even though it sounds complicated and very difficult. It's not. The root is, and on each one of those notes, you're just going to tap your finger. That's it. And the second time through, a variation. These things take time, but just have fun with them. Again, the looser you are and the more feathery your fingers are, the faster you can play. So the whole tune all the way through with the things that we've found in them. Here we go. those are some fun things to try with that tune. And also just check in with the mechanics. The mechanics are what are going to help you push through those places that feel stuck or frozen in your bow hand or your bow arm. And also, of course, listening is really key. Just plug your ear into as many recordings and try and just imitate the sound that you hear. Just listen like crazy, and that's going to help you probably the most of all. So thanks for joining me, and good luck.